Hello everybody, Stuart from Riku here. Today I want to start a new series where we go into technical details of how you can use AI models within your own systems, your own development, your own applications. It all starts really with understanding how you can manipulate an API and how you can use an API. Once you get this basic down and you can understand and use it fully, it will open up a whole new world of possibilities. It certainly did for me. Everything that I do is without code. Riku is built without code, and we're just plugging APIs together in the right place to get the outputs that we want and getting it to output the data where we want it to go. And the foundation of all of this is APIs. So let's start learning about how we can use them. Today, we're going to look at a tool called Postman. Postman is something that you can use for free. You can download it. I'll put the link to Postman in the description of this video. And it looks something like this. You can make requests and you can set up different APIs. You'll see here I have details of a prompt that I was running to OpenAI earlier today, where I made another version of this video, but I didn't think that was good enough, so I've decided to remake it. And you'll notice I've already deleted the key which was on that. So let's put something together completely from scratch from Riku. So we can come into Riku. We're going to go to the community showcase. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this fitness instructor chat. Now, I don't want to use it. I want to edit this prompt because I want to be able to get the settings and put it into Postman myself. Now, I'm not going to use GPT-J for this because I'm going to show how you can do it with OpenAI, because I think that is probably the technology that people will be wanting to use the most. So being able to send a request to OpenAI is very, very simple. And we're going to use Curie for this. We're not going to bother changing any of these settings for now because we're really just doing this as a demonstration. So what we're going to do, we hit the export code button, and you'll notice that we have this curl request or we have Python. And we are really talking about curl. When you are using Postman, and most sort of APIs will have curl request. It might be called a curl request. It might be called HTTP request. It might be called a webhook request. They're all technically correct. And what we are looking at here is we are looking at the first details. This is a post request, so that is important to know. And then we get the URL that we want to use. The URL is here, so we can copy that and we can go back to Postman. And we are going to do a new one. So I'm going to hit plus up here to get a new one. By default, it's going to say get here. We can change this to post. We put in the URL here and we can go back to Riku to see what else we need. So you'll see we have this -h and this -h. This means headers. So we've got a header of content type application/JSON, and we have another header of authorization bearer and then an API key. So how would we put this into Postman? We'd come in, we'd go to headers, we'd come in, we'd put the key, we'd make sure we spell it correct, authorization, and we have bearer, and we put a space, and we need to put our API key here. But for now, let's just do the content type, and we can do application/JSON. Okay, so to get the API key that we need to go to our OpenAI account. Here is my one. I've blurred the values that I'm actually using. And if I wanted to create a new key, I just click create new key there. It gives me one. I can copy that. I can come back into Postman and I can paste that here. I will be deleting this key after the video, so please do not try and use it because it would not be valid. So Now that we have the header set up, we are looking at what is in the body of the request. So the body is here, and because we've set it as content type application JSON, we're going to be using JSON in here. And JSON is found if you click raw, and you'll see this JSON comes up. We're not using a form because otherwise it would be content type form or this form encoded. So we want raw. So raw is what we want to get a place where we can put the JSON in. So then we can go back to Riku. We can see the data here, and we are looking at this bracket here. So this is what we want. From this bracket here, we want to copy all the way down to the end of this bracket here. We can copy that out. And one final step that I like to do to make sure that I'm doing things correctly before I put it into Postman is I like to come to this website here, which is jasonlint.com. So JSONLINT.com. You can paste your JSON in here. And this is a bug that I need to fix on the front end where it was showing a full stop, but we actually need that to be a comma. And once you have this, what you can do is you can hit validate JSON. And if I move my head out the way, you'll see that it says valid JSON. Whereas if I was to put that dot in, you would get an error. So this is just a way to check that everything is done in the right format. For a crash course in this, you want the brackets at the top and the bottom just to make sure everything is enclosed. You have the key and you have the value. Everything has quotation marks around it except numbers. Numbers don't need them. And every single line has a comma at the end except the last one. So that is a crash course. Usually you'd be able to just copy it and put it straight into Postman, but this is just like an added check that I like to do in case I'm playing around and modifying any of the values and think that I might have screwed it up. And I do screw it up a lot. So this is just an easy way to make sure that what I'm putting in is actually accurate and works. So we can then take that and paste this in here, and we are pretty much ready to go. Now, if I was to generate this as it is, I haven't left it with a question at the end. So it won't really know what to do. So what we need to do is we need to put that question in. Well, we need to put the line break at the end. So we've got line break, which is this /n, and then we have ###, which are stop sequence, and then we're going on a new line. So whenever there's a line break in your prompt, you want to put /n. And then we're going to put how important are carbohydrates for my diet? And we've got the question, and what do we need to do after a question? We need to put our stop sequence, and we are now wanting it to write on a new line, so we put a new line at the end. And because we've done this, everything should be good to go. So what we can do is we can hit this send button here, and hopefully everything will work perfectly. And bam, we have it. So we've got our output here. Carbohydrates are really important for your diet. You need to eat a lot of carbohydrates to help you fuel your workouts, blah, 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 blah. Try not to skip out on carbohydrates. They're a very important part of a healthy diet. Okay, so that's very cool. We've got the output. We've successfully sent an API request. So that was easy. We've learned how to send an API request in just over 9 minutes. Very easy, very simple. And now you have the basics of being able to implement this in pretty much any system. So what I would hope that people watching this video do is download Postman, actually start looking at how you can export the code from Riku and put the curl data into Postman and just try and see if you get an output, because there are multiple ways that you could mess this up and not get an output. For example, if I mess up the JSON and I hit send, we're going to get an error. Or if I do not have an API key, we're going to get an error. So there are a few things that you do need to make sure that you have, but by being able to do this, you can then start looking at how you implement this into other processes. And you can plug this into, Slack, Discord, Messenger, a bunch of different ways to get like a chatbot rolling. And we're going to be showcasing some of that in further videos. So stay tuned for that. And what is really important about learning with this is, there may be applications within sort of your work and through doing things through Zapier, Integromat, NA10, etc., where you might have been stuck on a certain workflow, or not being able to split text or do a regular expression or that sort of thing, where you can just plug in a bit of AI to do that for you. And we'll be going over how you can use AI within all of these different tools in future videos. So this is just an introduction to the series where we just wanted to show how you can create an API request using Postman. Very, very basic. And we'll go into more advanced stuff in future episodes. So if you find this type of content interesting, please feel free to leave a like or subscribe. And we are here to support you and help you to get better at implementing AI into your actual use cases, instead of just keeping it within a closed off system. So look out for that. Thank you.